Using a Roman-inspired Arverni army of all things, with the Celtic warriors, 6 of those acting as Hostati, 6 chosen swords acting as Principe, a unit of Celtic youths acting as Velites, and chosen spears acting as Triarii, the Oath-sworn general. Let's just pretend he isn't there. I probably should have gone for a noble horse to be more accurate, and these light horses aren't really representative of Equites, but what the hell. Let's say they are auxiliary Celtic light horse. The plan is simple: send in the young Celtic warriors to die, follow up with chosen swords, and protect the rear with chosen spears. Send in the chosen spears when all cavalry is dealt with. So my opponent, we can't see his army just yet, but I'm going to move up through the forest, and I'm also going to try to claim this forest to get a nice flanking position on his army, since he deployed all the way over here. Just moving up all of my guys, and here comes some Equites out of the woods any second. Some Soci Equites Extraordinary, very good, cheap shock cavalry. And my Celtic warriors are on the move. I don't have time to stop them, so I'm just going to give attack orders, hopefully be able to throw some javelins. I'm able to damage some of them, but they will get a good charge on these Celtic warriors, and these Celtic warriors are getting absolutely wrecked by the Soci Equites. But it's fine, I mean, they're just Celtic warriors. They are there to die. I'm just popping a shield wall here because I don't need to lose my chosen swords the same way. Moving some guys into the forest, moving some guys after the Soci Equites, trying to get some javelins on them. And now my forces are very disorganized, so I'm just going to pull back with my chosen swords, pull back with my warriors, and send my spears over to deal with the whoopsie daisy. That's what you get sometimes for using the debug camera. So I'm just going to use my spears to defend against the Soci Equites, because as you saw, they can get a huge amount of kills on light units on the move. Moving up through the forest, there are a lot of missile units for Rome here. The long-range missiles are Roman Scorpions, so it's nice to see them. This is kind of like the opening of Gladiator, where you have the barbarians, the Celts in this case, rushing through the woods, and the Romans ready to unleash hell. So they should have had some Syrian archers, then it would be perfect. Over here I'm a bit indecisive. I was a bit too slow with my charge, so he's able to turn around and get a good charge on my light horse. And that's just going to wreck the light horse. They cannot stand up to these Soci Equites Extraordinary. And I'm a bit too slow also with my chosen spears, so I'm not going to be able to stop the Soci Equites Extraordinary. So these guys are already costing me a whole lot of grief. My swords are moving up through the woods, and I'm just going to present my Celtic warriors, so he's going to use some ammunition to fire on them. I want to draw as much pila and javelin fire as possible on these Celtic warriors, because I can afford to lose them. Trying to chase after the Soci Equites, hopefully killing some of them while they are trying to pull away, but Celtic light horse isn't a match for Soci Equites. Still, I managed to kill some of them, which is nice. And I'm making a mistake here by following with these chosen spears, because they will never be able to catch the Soci Equites. But I'm peeling 2 of them away to send them up here to support. These guys are going to take a hailstorm of missiles to the face. They're able to make it into this Roman Scorpion, but yeah, it's not a good day to be a Celtic warrior. The rest of the Celtic warriors are coming in, and they're going to eat a lot of missiles too. They are going to be able to make it to the Roman lines, and that gives my chosen swords time to move in while not taking any missile fire. So that's pretty important. I feel I can afford to lose the Celtic warriors here, just to silence the Roman Scorpions and to draw out some pila. I want my chosen swords to be safe when they are charging into melee, because I need every single chosen warrior if I'm going to be able to break through this line. My opponent had, I believe, 4 veteran legionaries, 3 veteran legionaries, 2 legionaries, and 4 auxiliary infantry, some velites, and some auxiliary cavalry on the flanks that I was able to catch with my Celtic warriors. And pulling out here is going to cost them a lot of casualties. Now my chosen swords are moving up, which is good because my Celtic warriors are almost defeated here. These Sociequites are able to run away from my chosen spears, of course. The main thing is to tie down the Roman infantry and the Roman skirmishers before my opponent troops move in. So the Scorpions weren't really effective, able to get in here with the chosen swords. I have to keep these auxiliary cavalry in mind, so I'm going to send my Celtic youths over to throw some javelins at them. The Roman infantry is about to get charged by these chosen swords. Let's see if they have Pila left. They have Pila left, and they are firing at the chosen swords, so that's pretty bad for the chosen swords. But now they're going to get silenced by this charge of chosen swordsmen. Counter-charging, but Roman infantry isn't good on the charge. Over here they are getting swamped by Celtic warriors and chosen swords. This unit is getting stopped by a unit of chosen swords, and they should lose quite a few men pulling out of this engagement. Well, not really. So I have to fire at them with my Celtic youths, keep chasing them with my chosen spears, and here comes my Oath-Sworn general, ready to deal the death blow to these already engaged Roman units. So the chosen swords in shield wall are able to do very well indeed against legionaries. They are taking fire, so they would be doing better if they weren't under heavy javelin fire. Nice rear charge here by my opponent on my chosen swords, which is going to take them down. But they won't be able to stay there for long because these Celtic youths are going to start firing into their rear, and there are chosen spears coming into the mix, so they won't be able to break this unit of chosen swords before being cut down themselves. Now these guys are already tired, so they won't be able to make any meaningful contributions to the battle, but I have enough infantry units in the fight to be able to hold the Roman infantry and destroy them. Flanking around here with the chosen spears, they are finally able to catch the Sociequites because they stopped for just a moment, and the Sociequites are going to go down very quickly indeed now. Chosen swords in shield wall, so they are moving slowly, bit of a micro mistake there. Celtic warriors came back from routing, now they're going for these auxiliary cavalry. Legionaries going down to my chosen swords here. And this unit of Sociequites has had enough, running from the field, and now it's not looking good for the Roman army. The Roman army was out-Romaned by the Celtic warriors, being tied down by the cheap Celtic warriors, and then being destroyed by the chosen swords. So it can be worth it throwing away cheap units like this in order to get good engagements with your more expensive troops. Roman Scorpion is off the field, legionaries are getting charged, and not many Roman units left at full strength. This unit of auxiliary cavalry doing what it can to stop the chosen spears, but it's going to be destroyed fairly quickly. The general is charging into chosen swords, going to be cut down there. And now finally my chosen spears are able to move in and support the fight. It's a bit too late though for them to make a meaningful contribution to the battlefield and to the battle, and they are already very tired. So they will suffer on their melee attack. Chosen spears coming in here towards the rear of the velites and the auxiliary infantry. They should die fairly quickly. The general is going down, and now the Romans are getting rear charged all across the lines, getting swamped by these Gallic and Celtic warriors. So another unit of Celtic youths, or the unit of Celtic youths, getting some nice kills with this unit because it's able to run around on the post and throw javelins. Now the legatus is charging in, but he's so depleted he isn't really able to do much. The Roman army is quickly falling on all sides. Only this one unit in the center is holding, and these few units on the flanks, but they are getting charged by chosen swords. Counter-charging to avoid getting rear charged, but it's too late. It's only auxiliary infantry, and auxiliary infantry is very crappy against sword units. So just fast forward here, because this is the end of the battle. Although I made quite a few micro mistakes, I was able to win here, and in part because my opponent invested in these Roman Scorpions, I think, and he brought too many auxiliary infantry. He should have had more veteran legionaries or legionaries, then it would be much more difficult for me to face this army. But armies like this can be very fun, very forgiving to use, and using the Roman tactics against them feels pretty good. And it works fairly well in game as well, sending in the cheap units if you have like Celtic warrior level units. The same can be done with Hastati or other nations' cheap melee units. Many factions can bring these Celtic warriors, and they are very good because they have a decent charge for their price. And you can see that these Soki Equites Extraordinari, they're able to do a lot of damage for their price as well against moving units. Very, very good. I think they are a bit underused in the Roman army, because the Roman army sorely needs a few shock cavalry units against barbarian. They can be very useful. I wouldn't bring Scorpions, maybe if I'm expecting a lot of Oathsworn, but Scorpions are a risky investment because they force you to be kind of static, and it's hard to get a lot of kills on them because they won't really be able to run away, so you have to stay and protect them. But hopefully this was an interesting battle. I enjoyed it. It's nice with these simple infantry spam battles once in a while, and I'll see you again on the battlefield.